Parents, today we speak about something that affects every parent in this lockdown period. How do you moderate screen time for your child during pandemic? I have few questions for you first. Are you feeling confused on should you or should you not moderate your child's screen time during this pandemic? Is it really practical to do so? And most important question, is screen time really so bad for children? Experts in this area stand divided in terms of the effect of screen time on the child's cognitive, learning, and social emotional skills. Well, to truly test the effect, we need to pick up a child, randomly make him or her increase the screen time and study the effect. You see the challenge here? However, understanding basic things may not be such a big challenge as they have a scientific basis. Before we get started, please note, the word screen time that I use here is not a blanket word. It does not include situations when screen is being used as a device for education purpose, online classes, tuitions, child referring to internet for school projects or information, or to connect with friends or families through video calls. Even then, I would advise to have a rule around self-hygiene like bath, brush, meal, and sleep before indulging in this. Now I'm going to share 6 basic concerns around the impact of screen time on a child and moderation suggestions. So point number 1, screen time too close to sleep time. Our brain produces a hormone, melatonin, that helps circadian rhythm, our internal clock, and encourages sleep. Now it is released in the darkness and gets affected by the light of the devices. Thus, a screen time close to bedtime is going to affect the sleep patterns of the child. So the result is poor sleep, which in turn is going to affect the memory, the learning, and the focus of the child. As well as it causes emotional challenges like irritability and low motivation. So suggestion is, have a rule of closing the devices 1 hour before the bedtime. Turn the internet off. Have consequences for nighttime sneaks. Also, have a fixed time of sleeping each day in a way that it takes care of 9 hours of sleep of the child. Point number 2, screen time at the time of eating. Eating is a sensory experience. It includes smelling, visual element, tasting, touching, and sensing the feeling of satiety and overall well-being. If more people are eating together, it also adds on the social element. Result, eating with devices robes away this experience. A big part of the brain goes into passive mode with screens, and the physiological signals knocking at the doors go unheeded. This can lead to development of poor eating habits, including overeating, resulting in obesity. It also leads to poor choice of food by increasing exposure to high calorie and low on nutrients food. Suggestions: have a proper place for eating. Make it a screen-free zone. Avoid giving food in the bed or while the child is having the classes. This helps to keep loose structure of routine going on for the child as well. It becomes all the more important during this lockdown period as the regular structure has completely been broken. Whenever possible, try having a meal time together, maybe breakfast or dinner time for parents with office hours. A definite rule can be made for the weekends to eat together. Point number 3, screen time for the entertainment the first thing in the morning. Imagine what happens in your body when you get up. The brain waves change from the sleep state to a state of wakefulness. It is actually the brain commanding the body into action through various signals and hormonal triggers. Sometimes even on a really cheerful day, it could be difficult to pull oneself out of the bed. So when a child gets into the mode of picking up a device the first thing in the morning, you are setting up your child on a very high level of reward train. Think it like giving chocolates or candies to the child the first thing in the morning. So later in the day, it would become all the more difficult for the child not to feel drained and out of focus towards other activities, which don't give this quick fix of dopamine release. Now, these other activities could be more essential for overall well-being of the child. Say hygiene activities, making bed, taking bath, academics, self-care activities, exercise, food, or even social connect with family. Remember, brain is a muscle with nerve connections, and like any other muscle of the human body, if we don't use a particular area, it is not bound to get developed or may get developed into a maladaptive behavior. Suggestion is, have a rule of no screen-based entertainment in the first 4 hours of waking up for your child. Let the child go through the waking up process in a self-driven mode, figuring out how to plan the day and build his or her motivation to follow the plan with some high-level instructions of to-dos from you. This also helps the child to develop more responsible attitude towards screen time. Remember, even if this is a restrictive phase of lockdown, raising your child is not a short-term event. The habits and attitudes developed early on gets edged much stronger at this phase. Point number 4, screen time whenever getting bored. Imagine what is happening when a child gets into the habit of using screen time as a time cruncher. There is no end to it. Throughout the day, our mind and body goes through several cycles of peaks and troughs. When a child starts feeling uncomfortable with the troughs part of the day and seeks out for a quick device fix, we are setting a wrong expectation in the child about overall outlook towards life. Instead of building life skills like frustration tolerance, flexibility, and adaptability, what takes precedence is instant gratification and a strong urge to be in a state of continuous stimulation. Bad idea. Being on screen in a highly engaged and interactive mode for a long time puts a child into a zone of hyper in alertness, activity, and anxiety. Oh, a shark is suddenly going to pop out from the sea. A bomb is going to get blasted around me. I have to find the imposter in the Among Us game. Why no friend has replied back to my ping? Why my notification is not there in my inbox? Why I have less likes in this post than the last one or than another person? That reminds me, please don't forget to like this post. Remember what I shared a while back. Like our biceps or triceps that get molded when we exercise them regularly, brain gets molded in a certain behavior when it gets exercised in that direction. So the suggestion is, have a routine around screen time being used for entertainment activities. When predictability sets into a routine, it helps the child to put more pressure on him or herself to figure out the other subtler ways to stimulate herself or himself. 5th, switching to entertainment while attending schools or tuitions. Say a child has a break of 30 minutes between the 2 classes. He opens up a video game or YouTube video to fill up the space. Now let's first understand the 2 types of entertainment here. YouTube videos, passive, solitary, non-engaging. Video games, highly reactive to the visual and oral, being in continuous state of panic, directly connects with the reward center of the brain. Compare that with what it takes to sit in for academics. An active mode of focus, attention, engagement, and connect with the passive material. It is extremely slow and rewarding. As both are brain-driven, screen-based entertainment and academics, the immediate switch is difficult for a person. The challenge becomes tougher for a child who is still developing self-control and self-regulation, both as a behavior and biological maturity. We do no good by allowing them to be coupled. So the suggestion is, I would rather the child gives brain a little break and moves around the house between the classes. Even picking up a storybook is a better alternative. A rule of screen-based entertainment post-school time is a better idea. Further, don't expect the child to be in a quick switch mode of drawing out of bed and plopping in front of the laptop for the school time. Keep the transition lag of the child in mind. Encourage a habit of waking up at least 30 minutes before the school time and go through the process of getting ready for the class. Sleeping on time is the first step towards the same. And definitely discourage, let me watch screen only for 5 minutes please before the classes, okay? Point number 6. Screen time at the cost of other physical activities and time with family. The child is with a device, indulging in sedentary nature of entertainment in the evenings. A sedentary lifestyle is bound to have an adverse effect on the physical and mental health of the child, increasing chances of developing chronic health conditions. Their body is growing, it needs flexing. Simple. If you're comfortable to send your child for some outdoors during this lockdown period, say your terrace or within a safe playground, or at least maybe play some ball on the wall, trampoline, skipping rods, cycling, or even online dance classes, put that as your expectations. That saves the child from replacing the required physical activity with a screen time. Similar restrictions can be put during family time. Parents, the restrictions of lockdown calls for a different rules and structures within the family as well. Now that children are more at home, it is a good idea to have a dedicated chores for them to carry out with some deadlines. Say, make the bed before breakfast, hang clothes to drying or putting them in wardrobe by lunchtime, or cleaning, brooming. Primarily anything that you feel the child is age-wise ready for it. This ways, they can keep building motivation throughout the day. It keeps this little mind constructively involved and gives them small doses of achievements. So to summarize, the 6 areas where moderation around screen time helps are screen time too close to sleep time, screen time at the time of eating, screen time for entertainment the first thing in the morning, screen time whenever getting bored, switching to entertainment while attending schools, tuitions, and screen time at the cost of other physical activities and time with family. Finally, be aware of what you are doing during the screen time, both in terms of content and connect with the strangers through voice or chat. Cyberbullying, exposure to adult content, predators, and push advertisements are all real problems. Keep your connect going with the child on around this. I really hope by now you are in a good space of deciding for your child if the amount of screen time that your child is currently getting is developmentally and age-wise appropriate. Also hoping you now have some practical ways on what part should be moderated and how. Thank you for listening to me. I'm Kiran Tevtia, a child behavior specialist. Feel free to reach out to me for your child's behavior-related questions or concerns with children. The earlier the intervention, the better it is. Thank you.